Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. Welcome back to the range. I'm down here today with a little Henry Pump Action Octagon rifle. These are little pump action rimfire rifles from Henry. They're available in 22 Magnum or this model here, which is the 22 long rifle version. Now the 22 long rifle is also listed to be able to shoot shorts and longs as well as the long rifle ammunition. And that's why I chose the 22 long rifle version. I like that versatility of being able to shoot the different power levels that you can get out of this rifle. Now shooting the long rifle ammunition, it'll hold 16. You can see that one just popped up in the viewing window there. That's round number 16. It'll hold 16 of the 22 long rifles. I've got CCI standard velocity in there this go round. If you want to shoot shorts, you can up your capacity. Henry advertises it to hold 21 shorts in the magazine tube. This one actually holds 23, so able to squeeze a couple extra shorts in there. That may vary with the different brands of ammunition and stuff like that, but I can get 23 shorts in this one. I'll demonstrate that later in the video. Now, if you opt for the Magnum version of this rifle, they advertise it to hold 12 rounds. Just because that round is so much longer, it's going to fill your magazine tube up a lot quicker. But, of course, the trade-off is you get the extra energy, power you might call it, and velocity of that 22 Magnum round. And I may end up picking up a 22 Magnum version later, just because I like this rifle so much. We've only had it a few months here, and it's a rifle that my entire family enjoys shooting, and those are the kind of rifles I really dig. My wife, Lisa Bell, has really took a liking to this little Henry pump action. In fact, I think I've probably lost this gun to her. She's done me that way on a few guns over the years. She'll stake a claim to it, even though I bought it. She'll stake a claim to it, and it'll end up being hers. But that's all right, you know. That makes me happy if I can find a gun that the whole family enjoys like that. Now, Lisa doesn't normally like being on camera. She's really camera shy, which is kind of ironic because she makes her living as a photographer. So you guys give her a hard time in the comments if you want. I try to get her to be on more of my videos, but she just don't like being on camera for some reason.
Okay.
This gun is clear. I don't have the magazine tube in it, and I have checked and double checked that it is clear. What I like about this gun, or one of the things I like about this gun, is Henry didn't mess it up by putting some kind of big gaudy safety lever or button or switch on this rifle. It's just a very sleek looking pump action rifle. No no goofy safeties on it. It does have the quarter cock safety feature. So if you want this gun on safe, right now the hammer is down as if the rifle has just been fired. It is ready to pump a new round in. Now we're ready to fire again. So if I were to fire it, the hammer goes down, cycle starts all over. I can pump a new round in, fire, cycle starts over and over. If I want to break that cycle, let's say I pump a round in, but I don't need to shoot it. You can put your thumb on the hammer, pull the trigger, let the hammer about halfway down, let off the trigger, now let the hammer the rest of the way down, and you're in the quarter cock position, which locks the gun up. Now I can't pump the gun, I can't pump the action, and of course it can't be fired with the hammer down like that. And the hammer is resting in the quarter cock position, so it's not resting on the firing pin, which in turn is not resting on the rim of the next cartridge. Of course, when it comes time to fire that round in the chamber, just reach up and thumb cock it, and you're good to go. So if you've got the hammer down, let's say you've just fired a shot and you've got the hammer down and you want to go into the quarter cock position, just cock it, quarter cock. That's all there is to that, how that safety works. Now, you can override the quarter cock position and unlock the action with this lever here. Push up on it and you can pump the gun. So I've got it in quarter cock. It's safe, it's empty. Wanted to show you guys this. I've got a speed tube here. It holds 21 shorts, which is what Henry advertises this rifle to hold in the magazine tube. 21 shorts. Pull the cap off here. We'll load these into the magazine tube. And I'll show you what I was talking about. See, nothing's showing in the window yet. Can drop 2 more shorts in for a total. You can see that one in the window now if I hadn't dropped it. But anyway, have a total of 23 in there now. It's at a pretty good capacity if you want to do some plinking. Let's shoot these on these steel plates and then we'll shoot some other targets. I think that's it. Yep. Fun, fun, fun right there. That never gets old. I'll show you these sights. Buckhorn sight, or semi-buckhorn sights, I should say, in the rear. These are adjustable by this ladder. You can make your course adjustments by simply raising up on the sight and sliding this ladder back and forth to change your elevation. You can drift the sight. You can loosen that set screw and drift the sight left or right to adjust your windage. And it also has a little fine-tuning plate in here. There's a screw that you can loosen, and that little plate with the diamond on it, you can make some fine-tuning adjustments there as far as your rear sight goes. So you got a lot of adjustability. Front sight is a brass bead. Now, I'm not a big fan of these sights. I'll just be honest with you guys. Don't shoot them the best in the world, but they are usable. I can use them. My wife actually likes them. She has better vision than I do. My vision has really gone downhill the last couple of years. I've got a little speed loader here full of some Russian-made steel case 22 long rifle ammunition. You can get an idea of how these rounds stack in the magazine just by looking at that tube. I'm going to empty these. This tube holds 15 rounds. I want to empty that into the rifle, and we'll see if it'll shoot these 15 rounds of steel case ammunition. I believe it will, but let's find out. Thought that was all of them. Yep, cycled those just fine. I've got 14 of these CCI quiet rounds loaded in a tube here. We'll drop those in and shoot a few tin cans. What's more American than shooting a few tin cans with a gallery style gun? You know, the old carnival guns were often pump 22s, using 22 shorts to knock over targets and win prizes. And that's how they get the name gallery gun. So you'll often hear 22 pump guns like this referred to as a gallery gun. I've got 7 tin cans there. You can feel when the gun runs empty, but not as well as I can with the lever action. With the lever action, I can just instantly tell when I've ran empty. With the pump, you have to feel a little more for the empty chamber. The fit and finish and overall build quality on this rifle is very much like my Henry lever action 22 rifles, my H001. This is actually an H003T if you want the specific model number. That octagon barrel really stands out. I'm going to point this barrel toward the camera. The gun has been cleared and there is a berm behind my camera. So if you don't like that, kind of turn away. See if I can get the camera to focus. Give you guys a look at that octagon shaped barrel. You can see just a beautiful, beautiful rifle. The 20-inch barrel with a 1 16" turn, which is standard for 22 long rifle. The zinc alloy receiver cover. It does have a 3/8" dovetail groove, so you can add an optic if you prefer to have an optic on one of these. But built very much like my H001 lever action. The pump will surprise you. It's such a short throw. I've had several friends come over here and shoot this rifle. I'll let the hammer all the way down so that I can pump it. But I've had some friends come over and shoot this rifle, and it takes a minute to get used to. That throw was only about 1.5 inches on that action. So it's a very short throw. And like I say, it takes a second to get used to. And you don't have that same butteriness of the lever action. The lever action Henry 22 is one of the smoothest lever actions that you can shoot. And this pump doesn't quite have that same feel. You don't get that that mechanical advantage of the lever, so you're pushing everything back and forth with just that pump. So it's a little stiffer feeling than what you might expect for a 22 pump. The lever action is going to be a little bit smoother. And one thing that I did want to mention, a difference between this and the lever action, it's not nothing that I've had a problem with, but I could see somebody having a problem with it, and that's the bolt bite. See how the bolt comes out the rear? If you're shooting the Henry lever action, when that bolt comes out the rear, your hand is down out of the way because you're racking that lever. So with the pump, if you've got a real high grip up here and you rack that pump, you could get hit by that bolt. So just something to be aware of. I don't think that's going to happen with anybody using a normal grip. But if you're showing a new shooter how to shoot, and this is a great gun to show a new shooter how to shoot with, something to be aware of is to watch their grip. Make sure they're not holding up here too high where that bolt might bite them. I've got 15 of these CCI shot shells loaded up in a speed tube. Let's drop those in and see if it'll cycle those. If it'll cycle those, it'll cycle just about anything. Just hitting those, just not breaking them. It's such a small charge of number 12 shot in those that it just doesn't hit hard enough to crack them open. I should have still 5 or 6 rounds left. Let's see if I can toss one up and hit it. I hit it. Just saw a little piece fly off of it. Let's try it again. Try it closer. There we go. And that's all of them. With an overall length of 38.5 inches and a length of pull of 14 inches, this is an adult-sized rifle. Henry advertises the weight of this rifle to be at 6 pounds. And my little fish scale confirms that, showing 6.09 pounds. The trigger on this rifle is very nice. Breaks at about 2 pounds and 12 ounces consistently. It's a very clean break. Just a very good trigger on this rifle. I didn't have time to sit down and shoot some groups on paper in today's video, but I thought I'd show you some of Lisa's sight-in targets. She actually sighted this rifle in at 25 yards one day while I was at work. But show you what some of those look like. There's one. There's one. And some of these, she said, like you can see, she was off target there. She was adjusting the sights as she went. This was her best group. That's 5 shots. So that's a pretty good little group for semi-buckhorn sights at 25 yards. I thought that was impressive. See, she was probably averaging about 3/4 of an inch or so. But that's for you guys that like to see the paper targets. You weirdos. I'm just kidding. Paper comes in handy for sighting in and shooting groups, stuff like that. Them things are sticky. It does have some plastic in it. I noticed that the trigger guard is plastic. Not a big deal to me. Maybe it is to you. Half the firearms that I trust my life with have plastic trigger guards. So again, wasn't a deal breaker when I chose to buy this rifle. Maybe it will be. Maybe they keep you from buying one. I don't know. MSRP on this gun, as of today's date, is $636. Now, MSRP has been changing a lot lately. I've noticed that when I post a video talking about a firearm, I'll quote MSRP just to give a baseline on the price, and a month later that's changed. Here lately, they're climbing. They're going up. So when I quote an MSRP and then somebody will correct me in the comments saying you quoted the wrong MSRP, it's actually $100 more. Well, I quoted you the MSRP the date that the video was published. That's the best I can do. Actual store price is probably going to be closer to $500. I paid $499.97 for this one, plus my local state tax. So these are not inexpensive firearms by any means for what they are. But they are made in the USA. Like Henry says, made in the USA, or they just won't make them at all. And, you know, I appreciate that. I like that slogan. I know a lot of you guys do too. I do videos, you know, I feature a lot of different firearms on this channel. Been doing this for over 10 years. And I have noticed in my comments that when I do a video featuring an inexpensive firearm, people get in the comments and they'll fuss because it's not made in the USA. They'll take a crap on whatever country it was made in. If I do a firearm made in Germany, they're up in arms because I did a German-made firearm. If I do one made in the Czech Republic, same thing. You know, Brazil, same thing. Just a lot of negative comments, and I get it. I'm okay with that. I'm just the guy showing you, and you get to make the decision of whether you like the firearm or not. But when I do a video of a gun made in the USA, a lot of those same people are in the comments, oh, that costs too much. I can buy 2 of these made in Brazil or 3 of these for the same price, you know. You can't have it both ways. If you want to buy quality USA made products, you're going to have to pay for them. That's just the way it is. And that's how I feel about this little rifle. This is a quality heirloom product that is going to get passed down in my family for generations. So I don't mind going ahead and spending the extra money on a rifle like this that's hopefully going to be passed down. You know, you never know. Maybe somebody will pawn it off. I don't know, after I'm gone. It won't matter to me by then, I don't guess. But it certainly gives me a nice feeling to buy a good quality USA made product like this and know that I've got something that's going to hold its value and going to last. And it's backed by Henry. You know, Henry has one of the best warranties out there. I've never had a problem that they didn't take care of immediately. So that's really all I've got to say about that. All right, time to close this video out. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me here at the range today and taking a look at this fine little 22 rifle. A couple of things I wanted to reiterate, or maybe I didn't mention at all earlier in the video, but you shouldn't dry fire this rifle. I know you saw me do it a couple of times in the video by accident, where I didn't count my rounds and I didn't feel the tension go slack on that last one, and I dry fired it. But you know, an accidental, occasional dry fire like that's not going to hurt it. But you don't want to intentionally sit down and dry fire this rifle. You can damage the chamber. You can peen it up and make it hard or impossible to feed and extract rounds from the chamber. So if it happens to you by accident, don't sweat it. Just don't purposely be dry firing this rifle. Another thing is, this rifle has a very short stroke. I think I talked about that a little bit in the video, but even so, it is easy to short stroke this little rifle. When I first got it out and started shooting it, I actually thought there was something wrong with it. I wasn't pushing the action home hard enough on my push stroke. So my pull stroke was fine. I was ejecting the old round, picking a new one up, but I wasn't pushing it home hard enough. And what would happen was I'd just pull the trigger, the hammer would fall, and nothing would happen. And I finally figured out what I was doing. You have to be firm with this action. You have to send it home. The buckhorn sights, or the semi-buckhorn sights, are not my favorite sights. That little groove in the back I can hardly see. That's another reason I didn't shoot groups with this rifle for you guys today. I showed you the groups that my wife shot because she can see these sights better, and she actually shoots this better. But I knew when I bought this gun, because of my previous experience with these sights on my lever actions, that I would end up switching these out with some Skinners. So I already picked up some Skinner sights. That's what I'm going to put on here. Next time you guys see this rifle, you'll see these sights on it. This is the rear sight that I chose. And this will take the place of my front sight, because you usually need a taller front sight. Not always the case, but sometimes you do. So I ordered a tall front sight that I can file down if need be to the height that I need. This rear sight, there's no drilling or anything involved. I'll remove this semi-buckhorn sight, and there are 2 holes in these octagon, only in the octagon barrels, but there are 2 holes under here, and that's what this will bolt to. So this is going to set just forward the receiver, and I can't wait to get those on there. I'm a huge fan of the peep sights. These Skinner sights are high quality, made in the USA product, and I'm a big fan of them. So like I said, when I bought this rifle, right away I started saving for a set of Skinner sights and ended up getting them. So you will see this rifle again. I'll put those Skinners on here and I'll show it to you again, and I might sit down and shoot some groups with it at that time. But for now, that's all I've got, and I'll talk with y'all again soon.